Why hello there my fellow agents, what's up? It's Robbie with Open World Games and we are talking about Tom Clancy The Division. We're diving deep into the base of operations and I'm certain there will be something new for you in this video. So as always, use the video guide in the description below to skip ahead to the info you seek. And remember, we are doing our Tom Clancy The Division giveaway. The winner will be able to select their platform of choice. You can enter this giveaway by finding out more in the description below and following the link. Remember, this is open to subscribers of Open World Games. So we're going to get into the new info in just a moment, but as you may recall, agents are given 72 hours of supplies in the beginning of the game. And it's likely your first base of operations will be very easy to tackle. In fact, yes, you will have to take back base of operations from enemy factions as you move throughout the game world, district from district. This game is really going to be about completing district goals and really grabbing that base of operations to secure that district. But you know, a common question is, are base of operations shared between players? So as you go through the world and you unlock a base of operations, does that mean every single person unlocks that base of operations, or does it act more like Destiny? You know, Destiny's some of the progression is actually dedicated to the specific player, not the group. So as you explore the world, the host takes advantage of that progress. So when we saw the Manhattan gameplay demonstration, we heard one of the agents say,
"Okay, we're about to unlock my base. It's up here on the right.
Help me unlock my base of operations." She did not say, guys, let's unlock our base of operations. So it does sound like there's going to be that host mentality to this game. So you're going to be joining your friend's game, helping them unlock the base of operations. They're going to help you unlock your base of operations separately. I believe that's going to be how it works. Now, they haven't revealed that there's some sort of SWOTAR mechanic. Now, in SWOTAR, which many of you, I'm sure, are familiar with, you have the option of sharing progress in a way. It was very different, sort of confusing, actually, but it was pretty cool how you actually were able to take on the progress even when you were in a group. So maybe, just maybe, they have that sort of system as well in Tom Clancy Division, but we will find out soon enough. But for now, for what we know, is it sounds like progress is going to be player specific, not progress as a group. I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions. So what about the rumored locations, the actual buildings for the base of operations? Well, we can expect a couple. These are rumored and some of them are actually confirmed. So we'll start out with the rumored ones. Now, in a development diary, Ubisoft Massive mentioned they visited an aircraft carrier museum. Can you imagine this as a base of operations? I'm hoping this turns out to be true. It'd be cool if it was sort of more military focused. This is where a lot of the soldiers are held up and stuff like that. That would be pretty cool. And then also the Grand Central Station. This was also spoken about in that same development diary. I'll try to include a link in the description so you guys could read it for yourselves as well. But that makes a lot of sense. It's a huge open space. There's probably going to be more than 100 players on screen at one time. But interestingly, it sounds like Grand Central Station may be connected to a faction. And we're going to talk about more about that in just a moment. Of course, we saw the post office in the Manhattan gameplay demonstration. That one, of course, has been confirmed, and we're going to break that one down in just a moment. And then there is the hotel, which we have seen artwork of. This one is pretty unique. It would be so cool to be climbing it story by story and seeing everyone chilling in this hotel. So that's something I would expect in the game for sure. It sounds like the base of operations are going to have a very different look as you move district to district and stumble upon them. So yes, as I previously mentioned, it sounds like factions may control the base of operations. Now, it sounds like there's also going to be factions that you can join in the game. There's not a lot of details about that at all, but being a part of this game world may depend on what faction you are a part of. So you just can't stumble upon a base of operation and expect to walk right in. Maybe, just maybe you could if you were a part of that faction. That would make a lot of sense. But otherwise, if they are an enemy rival faction, be prepared to take it by force. So yes, the base of operations will act as a big ass social zone. Expect to see over 100 players on the screen at once. They're probably going to be dancing, trading, customizing their gear, respecting their characters, and getting their missions and stuff like that. Sounds like it's going to be a total freaking blast just walking around the social zones and finding other players to play with. So what exactly do you do once you are in a base of operation? So you're going to want to focus on upgrading your base, because that's going to give you more information about the district around you. Remember, there's going to be one base per district, and to get more information, you're going to want to upgrade medical facilities. You're going to want to upgrade the armory and stuff like that. So for example, upgrading the medical facility may actually unlock a mission related to contaminated zones, so you get that sort of information. The armory may have more info about new weapons in the area, etc. So expect stuff like that. So let's break down the base of operations. So first of all, we're going to talk about the armory. It perhaps relates to weapons you could purchase, or more likely, the weapons that are actually on hand to defend the base. So you really want to keep the armory stocked for the civilians and protecting everyone within that armory. So it makes sense, you know, if you discover a weapon you don't like, you just hand it over to the armory. That would be really, really cool if they actually implemented that. Now there's also a trade station. This is probably going to be the area I'm going to be hanging out the most. You will be able to buy, sell, and trade here with other players. Perhaps, now this is a rumor, perhaps it could also be accessed via the companion app as well. We'll find out more if the trade station could be accessed by the companion app, but that would be pretty neat if you could do that. You know, if you're at work or whatever, check to see how much you're selling or whatever. Now the power level probably indicates if your base, of course, has power, if it has electricity, and it's likely you will need to free power plants in the immediate vicinity to get this up and running. So the security of the base is going to be extremely important. I imagine you'll improve this by taking over police stations, you know, making sure that you have enough guards at the base by doing certain missions. So increasing that security level is going to be extremely important, of course. Medical is also going to be important. Of course, you can't neglect the health of your citizens. You may need to find doctors or nurses around the world, so traveling to hospitals may actually have a viable point to doing such missions. So keeping that in mind as you stumble upon a hospital is extremely important. Now morale is really interesting. The mental state of your citizens is going to be extremely important, so this may relate to the amount of food and water you have collected for your base. Of course, this is just a guess, and it might be important to keep these citizens happy in your base, or you may actually lose it from the inside out. Again, that has not been confirmed, but of course I think if the morale would be low, everyone's going to be pissed off. They may leave and they may revolt against that base. Now Contamination, I think a lot of you know about Contamination already. The district will likely have contaminated zones, so you will want to go through that zone and make sure you decontaminate it. I think that's also going to tie in to you facing off against the infamous cleaners. So remember, as you go towards contaminated zones, likely you will be running into those heavy enemies. And of course, progression is going to detail how you are doing overall. How are you doing with your morale, medical, security, all meshed into one, and it will tell you if you have completely accomplished all goals related to this base. Now there might be an ebb and flow related to progression. I'm not too sure. Bases may be lost, taken, or they may just stabilize as you play the game. There's no information about that. Honestly, I'm expecting once you secure a base, you secure a base. I think the dark zones are going to be offering that ebb and flow more than anything. Oh, but don't forget about travel connections. Now, these are going to be very important to the game. You may have to explore and link up your base of operations via subways or service tunnels. This may in turn give you quicker access to modes like PvP dark zones, as we could see indicated on the HUD of the actual base, or access to other bases like Midtown North, as we see here. So it's likely travel connections will be extremely important. But what's interesting about this is it doesn't seem like fast travel is completely open. It doesn't appear, at least, that you can say travel from the very northern point of the map to the very southern point of the map. You may actually have to connect bases in order to travel between them, which makes a lot of sense. That would actually be really, really cool and quite realistic. So I'm hoping that is actually how it works. Now, if this whole ebb and flow thing actually turns out to be true, where you could lose your base of operations, you might not be able to maintain control of all of them or go after all of them at any given time. It might be wiser to settle down, you know, choose the base of operations that you want to stick with for a long period of time and just really relax and call it your home. So it'll be interesting to see if you can just go willy-nilly and try to tackle all of the base of operations, or if they want you to have more of an intimate experience and say, this is my home. So guys, there you have it, the base of operations. No top comments this time because this video is pretty big in and of itself. But remember, as always, submit your comments and questions below because I will review them for the next video, and they could end up right here, bam, on the screen. But guys, as always, thank you so much for your support. Yes, we did it. We hit 200,000 subscribers here on YouTube. I think we're all excited for Tom Clancy The Division and the future of open world gaming. Remember, we are giving away a copy of Tom Clancy The Division. You can find out more about that in the description below. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned, and I will see you next time.
Empty. I heard that gunfire. Nick, check your map, see if there's anything in the area. That police station's going critical. Let's head up that way.